OG Mike suggested the head gear camera, so I'm doing it. And if it falls, because it keeps doing that, I'll just say, OG Mike. There we are. There's my face. Quite a few people suggested this because they thought it'd be cool to see us, what we're doing, walking around. Oh, Nita's got that goat already. So this right here, this opening, never had a problem with it before, but that's how the goats are getting out. Someone suggested, I can't remember his name, but it made me laugh, and I did write his name down, that maybe the goats were jumping on top of one another, like piling themselves up and then jumping out of over the fence. That was a pretty cool one, and I thought of that because they're like magic. Maybe they're unicorns. Come on, goat. Now if I open this gate, the other two goats will run out, so I'm gonna have to wait until Anita gets back with some food. She's in the barn with the food. There's Teddy dog, the yippy dog. Teddy is Anita's dog, came to us from a customer at the stand, just was riding by and said, hey, is this your dog? And we said, nope, I have no idea whose dog that is, but he was cute. And the lady was going away, so Anita said, well, my kids really like that dog. And our thing was, we're going to find the owner on Facebook. There'll be no problem. We'll put a picture of that cute dog up. And we did, and Anita drove that dog all over the place, had it checked for a chip, and never found the owner. So it's been here for going on 2 years now. So this is our all-stock sweet feed.
This is 50 pounds. This is why we can't hire somebody with a spleen problem, because we need somebody to pick this stuff up.
This also explains my great upper body strength. I don't really have, but I look as though I do. All right, goats. You're just going to walk her over, or where the heck is she?
You should have had that. She just was inside the bag. She just had her whole head in the bag.
Wow, these goats. She's in.
For now.
Maybe we should leave the camera here all day on the pen, just to see if they are stacking each other up and jumping over for a wild adventure on the farm. Oh my.
The greenhouse is about 84 degrees. Even though it's cloudy outside, the weather's warm enough and the sun's out just enough to keep the temperature up. If we keep the door shut, we probably won't need to have the heater running today. I'm going to go down the other end and take down the plastic so that the window can let a little of the heat in where the fan is.
Hey, and right now we have no rain. We should be doing, you heard of a rain dance, we should do It's Not Raining dance. Now we need it to all dry up and we will get planning. Nita and I are going to get working in here. We're going to move out some things later into that greenhouse that I showed you the other day, that we're going to get some benches in there, get everything out of here that we're going to plant next, and give us some more room in here.
Hi, welcome back to McCann's Farm. I'm Anita. My sister Nancy's holding the camera.
Hello.
We're just getting the greenhouse finished up here today so we can start putting some plants in here. We have to trim the plastic down the side here. My husband built a door. I'm just finishing up cutting the last of this off. Trimming the, so it looks nicer. There's really no other reason to do this other than it'll look nicer. Just take this little extra piece off. That's probably good enough for what it's for there.
Here, let's show them the door Steve made.
Steve made us this nice big wooden door. We were going to do a plastic door, but we went with a wooden door because we think kids will push against it, and this will be a little sturdier.
And we'll keep it open, while the stand's open, and we'll put something in it. So
The mail lady.
Hello, mail lady.
We'll get it painted. We'll have somebody paint it.
What do you think? We already said, we'll tell them how we acquired this greenhouse.
Oh, yeah.
This is from a neighbor. You can't quite see his house from here, even if I shot all the way over there. He's quite a ways, but he passed away, and they had a estate sale, and he had a lot of stuff for his farm, and we bought the greenhouse. So we kind of thought it would be fitting that we're going to call this Herman's greenhouse after Herman, the man that passed away that Pop bought the greenhouse from. We talked about the other day we were going to put this out. Anita, where was this used before?
That black fabric, that was from our mum field before we got that big green fabric.
So that was pretty neat. We were able to reuse the fabric. It does have a couple holes here and there, but that will be fine. We're in here enough. When the stand's open, there's employees that are in and out, and if a weed pops through, we can grab it. I guess the last thing to do.
You want me to get the broom and sweep all this?
I got the blower out there. I think.
You want to do it? I'll hold the camera.
Yeah, it might get a little dusty though.
Okay. So I don't know. I guess just from our feet coming in and out, we got quite a bit of leaves and yuck in here. So Nancy's gonna go ahead and blow that out. We got it all to one end, thank God. I think the wind is blowing it all down there because I'm watching. It's blowing in the door and going right down to that end.
And it has all the air and the weeds too, so it will flatten down. It's actually pretty cool to walk on. I think kids would love to walk on it right now. Whoa, I think I'm at the end of my rope here. All right.
Ready?
I think I can get it all. I don't want to go get another cord.
I was hiding out here. I was hiding out here so that I didn't get any of my eyes.
All that stuff waving around. Didn't really need a mask, but this worked. Did good enough. I kind of felt like I was in the money machine when people grabbing money, but only it was a bunch of junk blowing around. Sorry,
Okay.
hit you with that.
That's pretty good.
So what we're going to do is, first I should make it. I wish someone would carry in all the tables for us. We have this table that we bought from a road stand that was going out of business, and these actually come off. So we're going to repaint, restain, and add. We have one of these on each side, and then we have those other display benches that we're thinking we're going to put them here because they're really meant to be inside. Right now we have them outside. Nita's going to spray paint them and stain them too. So we're thinking we're going to go with them for in here.
All right, let's get this truck unloaded. This is all cabbage and different kinds of kale in the truck.
Now these really don't need to be in a greenhouse right now, but our weather here has been crazy. We don't know if we're going to have a high wind, so we'd rather just put them in here. Keep them sheltered. get them planted as soon as we can get out in the field.
I think I'm gonna have to jump in there and get them.
So at your age, how do you like jumping in and out of a truck all the time?
My age? Yeah, some of the comments do say for an older woman. But yeah, for an older woman, I do jump in and out of the truck quite often. These are plants that really don't need to be in the greenhouse at this point in their life. They could actually go outside anytime now, but we can't get in the fields because it's so wet here at the farm. So we have some Toscano kale, and this is your curly kale. This is the kind most people see at the grocery store. It's the most popular to grow. It is the easiest to grow, and that's why it's the one that you see most in the grocery store. This over here is the Toscano kale. It gets a long, skinny leaf like this, but it'll get about this long. It'll be a nice big leaf. And then over here we have cabbage. These are all green cabbages back here. We have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trays of them, and there's 2 up there. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So we'll get all these as soon as we can get out in the field. We want to ideally these should be in the field by now. I mean, we're already in May. We should be starting to plant tomatoes in the field, but our nights are just still a little too cold, so we're going to wait a little bit. So what are we going to do next, Nance?
Oh, let's tell them about our idea for out here. On this side, we kind of have, Steve was still working on the door.
Yeah, right here where all the construction stuff is. We're going to make a garden. I think what we would like to do is kind of like something that you could have home in your yard. Maybe 4 feet by 6 or 8 feet. Something that would be manageable for you to have at home. We're gonna break the ground, show you how to turn it, show you how to care for the soil. We're gonna plant in it, and then we're gonna keep track of it all summer while we harvest it. So we're gonna try to work on that.
We're also going to do
maybe tomorrow.
The pots, couple big pots.
Yeah, we're
going
to do some container gardening.
That's our
next thing that we're going to try to work on. Maybe if it rains too much this week, we can get right in the greenhouse and start working right on the containers.
All right, next thing that we not really, I guess you could say saving the best for last, but thank you again. 152,000 subscribers, all the great comments, all the people that are starting gardens that have sent us pictures, and we're showing them to each other. Hey, look at this one. And I'll hold the board up because here's our shout out. We have way too many people to
look. Gabrielle, she's been helping us out a lot. We put her down the side there.
Yeah, I even checked out her YouTube page. Pretty cool. And I want to apologize to one of these, Justin from New York. I'm sorry I carried you in, and I kind of
cut him off a little bit.
Yeah, I wiped them out.
But see if your name's on there, guys. This is the board that we made for today.
Again, thanks for all your help. Another thing that a lot of people are asking is question and answer session. And how can we do this where both of us are in? We'll just hold it. Sit over here, maybe. Sorry to swing us around here. But the questions, and both of us said, you know what, something a lot of people are asking is, how do you do farm life? We have a family, we're involved with our kids' schools. It's
tomorrow morning. I have to be at the PTA to make breakfast for the teachers. You have meetings at night. It is rough. It's a lot of juggling schedules. My husband is great with, you know, there's not going to be dinner tonight because, or you have to make dinner tonight because I have to do this.
And that was a question. Do your husbands make dinner? I know a couple people ask that. And
my husband does. I have to kind of start it, or at least get the idea out there, but then he'll come in, and if I don't get the idea out there, we use Nancy's cookbook.
Yeah, and we'll have to show that to them someday. I do have a cookbook.
It's the pizza delivery guy.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. I'll show it to you. Yeah, so first of all, we have to thank our husbands. There aren't many ladies that farm, and we wouldn't be able to do this if it weren't for them. Both our parents, and that's a crazy story in itself, and we haven't shared that with you yet. Mom lives with me.
Dad lives with me.
And they've been divorced
Since I was 2 and Nancy was a baby.
Yes.
So, oh man, I just told everybody I'm the older sister.
Yeah, she's older. But that's probably we could do a whole show about that. But they are neighbors.
So friends, today I was going to make you some Blackberry Crumble. I made it in a previous video that was on a different channel, and I've gotten so many people that want to know how to make Blackberry Crumble. I decided to make it again. It's not the season for blackberries. Blackberries are in August, so I usually freeze my blackberries in August, and then I make anything I want to make out of them throughout the year. But I used my last of my blackberries the last time that I made them on video, so I don't have any frozen blackberries, so I did go to the farmer's market and I found some fresh ones. These ones are, I do believe from California, and if you open the packs like this is called a clamshell pack. This is a ½ pint. If you open it up, you can just run it under the water because it has holes at the bottom and they'll seep out. So I've already washed all these because, as I said earlier, the sink and the counter are on the other side, and if I video from that direction, you're not going to see anything because of the window. So we'll just spread the berries in here. Just kind of look at them when you dump them out. Make sure there's no like really yucky looking ones. Sometimes it's really hard as a farmer, I can tell you. We can pick a berry and in 2 hours there's mold on that berry. It just happens. It's not that there's anything wrong with that farm. It's not that there's anything wrong with the shipping, the packaging, whatever. It's just sometimes the berry goes bad. So I just like to give a little look as I'm dumping them out and make sure that they're all nice, big, fat, plump, fresh looking berries. So one more. So this recipe calls for 4 ½ pints of blackberries. And you just want to layer them in the bottom of the baking dish. This is a 9 by 13 pan. Nice big fat blackberries in the pan. So now this recipe calls for 1 cup of oatmeal. So this is oats. You could use the quick oats if that's what you have. It won't be any different. I use the old fashioned just because Pop loves oatmeal, my dad. So we always have these on hand. So I like to use them. Then I use flour. Personally, I use unbleached flour. I just figure the less processed, the better. So I just want to get a cup of this. I guess in a perfect world, you could sift the flour, but I have a friend, Laurie, who's a fantastic baker, and she always says, you should sift it, but in real life, I don't do that. So I'm giving you a real life here. Now, I took a stick of butter. It's 8 tablespoons of butter or a ½ cup, 1 stick, and I had 2, so I put 1 in the microwave already so that you could see, so I didn't have to step across the room there to do it. So we're going to put 1 stick of melted butter in the my microwave. I don't know, everybody's is different. It took about 40 seconds. I actually had it in there for a minute and it was a little too much and it spilled all over my microwave, so I had to clean it. So we have that. Now, in my recipe, which my grandma didn't do this in her Blackberry Crumble recipe, in my recipe I do use a little bit of cinnamon. Probably like a ¼ teaspoon or so, not a whole lot, maybe a ½ teaspoon. I just think it gives it a little bit more of a richer flavor to use that. So, and then you just mix it all up really well. You have to get that flour all coated with the butter. If you have any flour that's uncoated, it's not going to cook through, and it's just going to kind of look like you forgot to coat the flour. Now, last thing I put in here is brown sugar. Originally called for 3/4 of a cup, but you have to kind of go by your blackberries. The recipe I made the other day when I had company for dinner on our Tuesday night supper, I used a whole cup because they were some really tart blackberries. The only way to know is to give it a taste. So I'm going to taste one of the blackberries. Not too bad. They're still a little tart, but they're still a little sweet. So I'm going to back off and put about a 3/4 cup of sugar in there. If you bite into that blackberry and you get a pucker on your lip, then you want to go ahead and put the full cup in there. Again, when you are using fresh product, you never know from one farm to another, one row to another. I can get a strawberry out of this row, move over to that row, that strawberry's sweeter. You never know what you're going to get. So I just have this all mixed up. I just mixed in that brown sugar. So now that I have it all incorporated together, there, just mixed all up, it should look kind of crumbly like this. And just pour it over the top of those berries that you have in your dish. And some will go down to the bottom, some will sit on top. Just try to make sure you have it pretty evenly all the way across, and try not to spill on the table like I just did. Because you don't want to waste any of that goodness, because it's the brown sugar and the cinnamon and the oats. Teddy is not happy with this one. He is grumbling under the table. And just spread it out evenly. And then we're going to put this in a 350 oven for about 35 minutes. So I've baked this 350 degrees for about 35 minutes. And this is the part of cooking and baking that I never have problems getting help with, the tasters. So we're going to cut this. This is our Blackberry Crumble. Pass it down. So this is my husband Steve, my son Charlie, Nancy's daughter Colleen, and of course everyone knows Nancy, and our dad at the end, Tom. So who's going to do the first taste? Make sure that I did it right.
Me. I'm ready.
You're ready? Oh, one for Colleen.
Good.
What's the verdict? It's not as juicy as the one I made the other day, because these were made with fresh berries and that one was made with frozen. You want some, Joe?
No, thank you.
You don't want any?
No, I'm good.
Well, I'll get myself some.
Pop and I'll take those.
Okay. Papa and I and Nancy are going to take Joey. Well, thanks for visiting us here at the farm today.
Leave us a comment,
Hit like,
and we'll see
and
you.
be sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time.